This is the Dodgers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007. I think Joe Davis and Eric Karras summed up that game pretty precisely right at the end when they both said, wow. What a crazy, crazy finish to that one. Max Muncy boots a ball on the first pitch from Harper. They ruled it a base hit, and then Bohm grounds into a double play, and then on the very next pitch, fly out to Conforto on left field. Game over. A 3-pitch inning with a base hit. You don't see that very often. That is as rare as it gets, but a spectacular finish for the Dodgers and a much needed win. Not in general, based on the time of year. They just made a comment going into the ninth inning that talking to Dave Roberts about the loss last night and where the Dodgers are right now. It's like, we don't put too much stock into these games this time of year because they're just one of 162. We're playing good right now, and we didn't play great yesterday, and we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. Some of the things they turned around and did much better today. But, it's off. They're off to a good start. It's not that meaningful a game. It is a bit of a measuring stick because the Phillies are good and more than likely going to be good and a playoff team down the stretch. So it is nice to see what you see from them. And what the heck? What am I doing here? I forgot to put the background in. I was so excited about the way the game ended that I just didn't even put one in. Well, we'll just run without it today. That's the first time that has ever happened. And I don't know that I can go solo without having this circle around my face. That's just weird. Anyway, sorry about the lack of a backdrop there. Anyway, the fact that the Dodgers have not fared well against the Phillies last year was a big reason that I felt like these games against the Phils, as hot as the Dodgers are to start this season, are important. And a lot of people look at it and say, well, the Dodgers, yes, they've gotten some wins, but 6 of those first 8 wins were come from behind. The bullpen has been really, really good, top 4 in the league with a 1.8 ERA. But when you compare that to what the Padres are doing at a 0.4 ERA, it's not really all that good. And like, quite honestly, you look at it and go, yeah, they've gotten a lot of breaks and they have been fortunate to win some of these games. And ultimately yesterday, it kind of cost them, right? So
this is what you'll be talking about.
I think we'll be talking about the fact that Roki Sasaki had a very good outing in this game. And the Dodgers cleaned up some of the stuff that didn't go well for them yesterday. 3 outs on the bases, 2 completely unnecessary guns at second base on attempted steals that were just really not needed. Like the fact that Shohei ran right there was late in the game was unnecessary. And the Andy Pages attempted steal was even more foolish because it was on a 2-0 count. So, they basically ran themselves out of that game yesterday. Will Smith wasn't great behind the plate where he doesn't, let pass balls go by. And he had 2 yesterday. One of them may have been scored a wild pitch, but at the end of the day, they were both passed balls on Will Smith. Now, the fact of the matter was he didn't play today. So Austin Barnes got in there and cleaned things up for the Dodgers. It was also very nice to see them facing off against Aaron Nola. And the Dodgers have done very well when Aaron Nola pitches for the Phillies. They've won 6 of 7 against the Phils when Nola is on the mound. Now, 6 of those have not been losses for Nola. I believe he's lost 2 of those 6 personally. But the fact is, when he pitches, the Dodgers win. So it was nice to see them pick up where they left off from that perspective. And then Roki Sasaki in his last outing, an inning and 2/3, was, kind of disappointing for a lot of us after that opening outing in Japan. The 23-year-old had 41 pitches in his second outing and didn't survive the second inning. So for him to come out today and pitch like he did, only made it through 4 2/3, but he looked good. 5 Ks, all on the splitter, which was a little surprising. Usually you mix in something else, a curveball, a changeup, even a four-seamer, but he just, relied on the splitter. So you have to give him credit there for having faith in it, because it didn't look good in the first inning. It really didn't. 2 hitters on in the first, Harper and Baum, and then they grabbed a 1-0 lead pretty quick there in the bottom of the first. So you're kind of like, oh no, here we go again. He just didn't seem on it. He didn't seem confident. He just seemed a tad bit off again. So for him to right the ship and then take care of 9 in a row against the Phils, that was very nice to see. So I think that's one of the big things we'll be talking about in this game. The other thing that I thought was fantastic in this game, again, defensively speaking, coming off a game yesterday when they weren't too sharp defensively, today they were, and pulled off a very, very big play to keep them on top.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So the Phils had a runner on third with 1 out. Kyle Schwarber, who, by the way, has also dominated against the Dodgers last season, 6 home runs in 6 games and 13 RBI. So, definitely a guy that you have to worry about if you're a Dodger fan. But he lines one to Kike Hernandez in right field, and Teoscar catches it and guns out Stott at first base to end the inning and keep a run from scoring. That was so huge, because they left that inning still in front 2-1, where we all thought it was going to be 2-2, and it's a new ball game. So without a doubt, that double play keyed by Teoscar Hernandez in right field was the turning point of this game, because the Dodgers, it's not that they don't win the game if that turns into a run and a 2-2 ball game, but the fact that they come out of that game with momentum, which turned into a Michael Conforto home run the very next inning to pad the lead with a little bit of insurance, was, kind of a knockout punch for the Phils. So all in all, a well-played game today. 3-1 the final when it's all said and done. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will talk about the player of the game and get into the 2 home runs for the Dodgers. Another multi-home run game, which is something I really enjoy seeing. And both of them, interestingly enough, first pitch home runs. Dodgers have been great with 2 strikes and have been great hitting home runs on the first pitch. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. We, of course, appreciate you allowing us to be your source for your team every day. Today's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, which of course is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources to help you understand the products better and get those products to you right away. They have a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands. You'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. And you need help with an order, the Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person and trade pros looking for an extra edge. Their free Trade Masters program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Masters program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, with this promo code SH5, you'll get 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Today's episode also brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like catching a Major League Baseball game live, the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of the ballpark food, that first sight of the green, perfect grass. If you're looking to go last minute, Game Time can help you get there on a discount. it makes it even easier because last-minute deals and all-in pricing are what Game Time brings to you, along with a low price guarantee. Game Time takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as you get closer to game time, meaning if you're willing to run that risk of maybe missing a little bit at the beginning of the game, you can save a ton of money. They also have a feature that I love, views from the seat. I love that you can preview exactly where you'll be sitting on the tickets you'll be purchasing, because sometimes, moving back a little bit or, section over can save you a lot of money, and the view is pretty much the same. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Well, the Dodgers get the win tonight, or today rather, a tight one, a well-played game, hitting the ball, fielding the ball, pitching the ball. The bullpen came in once again to get the job done, and Kike Hernandez, good at the plate, got the scoring started. When the Dodgers were down 1-0, Kike got a knuckle curve down and in and launched it to left field for a 2-run home run, his third home run of the season. His batting average is still minuscule, but continues to make big hits. I feel like Kike Hernandez is a guy that we just do not care, or no, more importantly, we shouldn't care what his batting average is, because he's just clutch. He gets clutch hits when he needs to. He started very slow last year. This year, a little bit quicker start. He was 1 for 4 today. The home run and the 2 RBI was it. Struck out once. He's batting 115 with a 462 slug, which is really kind of awesome to see. Shohei Ohtani an 0 for today, walked once, struck out once. Mookie Betts a pair of hits. His slug is at 630 and the batting average is 296. The other home run for Michael Conforto, it's his second of the season, his second as a Dodger. Conforto's home run came on a first pitch cutter, while I said Kike Hernandez's home run was on a first pitch knuckle curve down and in, which he launched just down the line in left field. Conforto's went 317 feet and was a nice piece of insurance for the Dodgers in that win. Tommy Edman, 0 for 1. Real quick, I apologize on the description on YouTube yesterday. I misspelled Tommy Edman's name. I don't know why. I've always thought it was Tommy Edmund, M-O-N-D, but M-O-N-D, it's not. It's M-A-N, Edman. So apologies, Tommy, and apologies to you Tommy Edman fans. Max Muncy, 3 for 4 today, and that leads me to this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
In spite of home runs from Kike and Conforto, our player of the game has to be Max Muncy. 3 for 4 today. I believe he had 3 total hits throughout the entire rest of the season leading into this one. So for him to come up today without the torpedo bat, because he went back to his regular silver gray bat. And I also learned today, didn't hear this on the day of, but a couple of games ago, when he had the 2-run double that set up the Ohtani walk-off home run, he had abandoned the torpedo bat and gone back to his old faithful for that 2-run double. I had called it as a double with the torpedo bat. So he said, it's fine. I don't have any issues with it. But right now I feel it's better for me as a training tool, meaning he uses it during BP to try to find that sweet spot and then goes back to his regular bat for the games. Worked well for him today. Got his average up to 200 with 3 hits today. His slug is 300 and his OBP is 273. Andy Pages continues to struggle. Needs to figure out a way to have a more dynamic approach at the plate. I'm sorry, I hate to jump on Pages, but he right now is the worst hitter in the Dodgers lineup. It's just not good. That big, long, loopy swing, if his bat doesn't run into it, he's screwed. He's batting 100, slug of 133 and an on-base percentage of 270. So at least he's getting on base a little bit with some walks. He had 1 today. But, on he looks in the slow motion of the strikeout today, he was so beat because he had that big long swing on a fastball up. It's basic baseball. You get late in the count, you got to shorten up and try to make contact. I know this day and age, it's all about hitting home runs, but I feel like we've gone a little bit away from that, and getting on base is important, and he doesn't do it. Again, 100 batting average and a slug of 133. His on-base percentage is 270, so that's okay. I'll give him a little bit for the walks. But as far as hits, he's just not good. His swing is still too long. He has got to figure out a way to shorten up that swing and become a more dynamic hitter. I feel like, they'll probably give him 100 at-bats like they did last year to James Outman before they started making changes at his position out in right field or center field, wherever they had him. I feel like the same will be the case for Pages this year. He'll get at least 100 at-bats. Let's see how many he has thus far this year. It could be more than 100. You never know. At this point, he has a grand total of 27 at-bats. So we should give him a little bit more rope. And I believe the Dodgers will do that as well. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he's the sore thumb in the Dodgers lineup. Not everybody is going to hit on every given day or night, but the fact is that his batting approach is just too one-dimensional. Mr. Seabad says Austin Barnes should be the player of the game for not tearing into the home plate hump for some idiot's calls. At this point, Seabad, I'm just accepting it. I'm rolling with all the bad calls because it is what it is at this point. We see him on a nightly basis. The balls that should be strikes that cost teams runs. I believe after the Dodger game last night, the Ranger game was on, and there was a specific situation where the pitcher struck out the batter, but he called it a ball, and the very next pitch, the guy doubled into the gap, scoring a run. He's like, the announcers were like, we should have been out of that inning, but a bad call gave the batter new life. He doubled and scored a run. So, again, I've said it over and over. I'll say it again. The fact of the matter is the technology is there. We have the means to not have to worry about what's a ball and a strike. Like in tennis, we know when it's in or out. There are no questions. There's no arguing with the umpire, right? Because when it's in, you know that it's in. When it's out, you know that it's out, right? There's no questions. Yeah, and granted, sometimes we appreciated the arguments. Those were fun fodder, fun theater to watch the, old school guys like Lasorda and Billy Steinberg, Earl Weaver arguing with the umpires. That's old school baseball, and with the modern technology, there's no need for it. There is absolutely no need for it. You see Dave Roberts in the dugout all the time, getting just upset, shaking his head, throwing his hands up in the air. Like, what's the problem? Like he could see it from over there. How are we letting balls be called strikes be called balls and balls be called strikes? It's just the fact that those guys are human. I get it. They're going to miss a few here and there, but there is absolutely no need to miss a few. And what they're looking at for the review system is a review system. It is not a complete automated robot umpire, which I was calling for and hoping for, where the umpire gets a notification in his ear on every pitch, ball, strike, etc. They can just challenge. They get, just like every other challenge system in every professional sport or college, you can challenge up to 3 times. If you don't believe that was a strike when it was called a strike, or if you think it was a ball and it was called a strike, etc., you can challenge like they did in preseason. It worked fine. We wouldn't have to worry about any of these types of situations. So I believe it'll probably be a reality in Major League Baseball next year. But when it's all said and done today, it didn't affect the Dodgers. It didn't hurt them as they come away with a 3-1 win today to split the series. And tomorrow's early start of 10:30 will be the rubber game here against the Phillies at Citizens Bank. Sasaki goes 4, gives up 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 4. Anthony Banda gets the win. He's now 3-0. 1 inning, zeros across the board on 11 pitches. But the most impressive pitching performance of the day, Tanner Scott coming in for the save after a booted ball at third base by Max Muncy. He finished up with 2 more pitches, secures the win and the save on 3 pitches, which was just remarkable. I don't know that I've ever seen that before, and it was fun to watch. 3-1 the win today. Again, 1 more tomorrow at Citizens Bank in Philly before they head off to D.C. to face the Nats. This one underway tomorrow at 10:35 a.m. It'll be Tyler Glasnow versus Christopher Sanchez. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you listening. Don't forget to check out Jeff and Vince on the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday right here on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Take care. Have a good night. We will talk.